What if I were to tell you that I have a male who's heard about you, heard about your rep, and he's interested in fighting you, and he does not have much training, but he thinks that being a man, he can just train for about 2 months and beat you in a match. Now, what would you have to say to that? Would you take on that challenge?
Is this a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu match?
This is an MMA match.
2 months of training?
2 months of training, that's all he gets. And he has no formal training otherwise. But he still thinks he can beat you.
And he wants to fight me.
And he wants to fight you. He's kind of an arrogant guy.
Oh, yeah. I'd say yeah.
The gentleman that he is, as he were, is actually me. So I think that after 2 months of training, I can beat you in a match. And I'm challenging you as a martial artist to see if you could step up and beat me. Would you accept that challenge?
Yeah.
Oh, look at her. She's pretty big compared to him. She matches his size.
She's pretty big compared to me.
Taller than him, too.
Yeah, I know. She's got big shoulders.
Yikes.
I know. That's why I gotta fight. I got 2 months. Can I win?
I'm a striker and I like striking, and I think when it comes to strategy, if you catch her by surprise with your power, I mean, it only takes a couple of punches to end a fight.
Okay. Let's do it. 2 months. Let's do it.
2 months?
Let's go. Let's go to the first lesson. Okay, so we're here on day one of the training schedule, which will commence and continue over the next 2 months, up until the Gabriel Stan fight, the showdown, if you will, which is going to take place near to the end of January, to be determined date.
Biologically, men are going to have a strength advantage. Other than that, when it comes to technique, strategy, that kind of thing, the whole mental game and the muscle memory of technique, women can be just as capable, absolutely. If a woman has a lot of experience with stuff and she's up against a man who has little experience, no experience, absolutely she's got an advantage, because the strength advantage is nullified. I don't think it's unethical by any means, because she agreed to it, you agreed to it, and you're about the same weight. That's perfectly ethical. It's like, if you wanted to play a game of tennis against her, nobody would be like, no, he's a guy, that's not fair. If Serena Williams wants to play a game of tennis against Audrey Agassi, nobody's going to complain. People are going to say, hey, that's going to be a cool match, let's see it. Okay. Right through the target.
I was thinking of whackering all of a sudden.
If I come around, yeah, that's it. Close.
Close.
You keep your elbow in,
Okay.
and you just go from here to here. Elbows in tight, hands by your temples.
While training with Derek was going great, I wanted to reach out to other martial artists in the community.
Muay Thai, because I'm an assistant instructor, I can teach it.
Wow.
You know.
So 3 martial arts under your belt.
Yeah, I did a lot. I did kung fu. I did a lot of different things.
Now, I saw this article, and I just thought this was interesting, because it actually says world title.
Yes.
So is that accurate?
It is. It's a world title. I have a gold medal in the women's division.
But within your demographic, there was just you and one other in the whole world.
That's
it.
Yep.
Why do you think there's not as many women in these competitions?
It's not an easy thing to do. I think you really need to have the support of family. For me, I wanted to do a Muay Thai fight. I didn't have the support of my family at the time. I think there was concern that I would get hurt.
Do you think that if you were a man, that you would have got the same amount of resilience?
Wouldn't have been a problem if I were a man and wanted to fight. Yeah.
So I was surprised to hear that you actually want to see the outcome of this fight.
I think the difficult part is for you, not for her at all, mentally.
Yeah.
I think for you, you're gonna have to say, I have to really put aside that this is a woman I'm fighting.
I have to see her as just a martial artist.
So, same weight class, right?
Same weight class, yeah. She actually...
No training. How many years training?
2 or 3.
I think you're in trouble.
So I'm here at Martial Arts Planet fine facility in Kingston. And I'm going to train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and a bit of MMA. Now, you're a gym owner and you're also a trainer. From your experience, what would you say demographic of women in these classes is like, population-wise?
It's getting better. It's always been slim to none. There's a lot of consideration that has to be taken into account because you're putting them into positions and situations that they're not comfortable with. If you take the guard, for example, you put a woman on her back and put a man right in between her legs and ask her to close her legs around, it's not something that really feels all that comfortable.
Do you think that you could ever have like an MMA match between a woman and a man? If they were both willing, okay.
Yep, I do.
It could be done.
Yep.
Interesting. Like same with boxing or wrestling or?
Yep. I've seen some pretty phenomenal female athletes. Yep.
You've seen me now, you've evaluated me over a couple weeks, you've seen me training. Quality-wise, me going into a fight against Gabrielle.
If we started a match right here, right now, between you and Gabby, anything can happen. But if I had $100 to put down, it would go on Gabby. Gabby's really smart, and she's an athlete. But yeah, I have a lot of respect for her.
She's the real deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready for this. This is interval training.
Arms straight up and down.
Sorry.
Ready for another 5 minutes?
Yeah, sure, let's do it. You sure? We're just less than a month away from our fight. I am willing, I said I would give you the month to train. We're both gonna do it. We're gonna meet again in a month, and that was your back out time. So if you want to back out of this fight, you can totally back out of it now. I'm giving you that option. I'm giving you that. And there will be no embarrassment, nothing. You can say whatever you want to say, and there will be no guilt, and no shame, and you can back out.
Well, I appreciate that, but no, there's no need for that.
Because you understand that, I've been striking, and, my punch has grown. The power in these fists it's scary. No joke. And you still want in?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's what endurance training for a fighter's like. How's that?
We're gonna have to practice on that.
Fighting guys is not a very big deal for me, since basically all of my training is with guys. The one time I was in a tournament that was solely guys, and they told me, all right, I think you're the only girl, so you can either fight the guys and we'll put you down a weight division, or we'll refund you your money. So, I didn't go all the way there to not fight. After beating the first two guys, I was feeling very high, but also usually you don't ever want to get too confident. Yeah. So, all right, well, I probably won't get this lucky for the last guy. He looks pretty big. He's fairly taller than me. And he'd obviously cut weight to be in this tournament. So, I don't know, I got up there and eventually I got him with a triangle choke. Basically, when I got up and I couldn't even realize that there were other people around because I was too busy on not getting choked. And I realized that everybody else, like all the guys I'd fought before, all the people who had come to watch, the spectators, and the coaches had all started, like they'd stood up and they were all applauding, and everybody looked really impressed. And I was like, oh, that made me realize, hey, I guess I did do something kind of cool today.
My partner, Carolyn Klimek, who's holding the camera, has called me in to ask me about how it's going.
So what is your game plan to win this match? What are you going to do to win it?
I challenged Gabby coming into this thinking that I could beat her with just having larger muscle mass. I thought that, I would just train and I will catch her off guard and I will beat her. Being a man, being able to do that. Whether or not that's going to happen, I don't know. Everybody's giving me the odds saying, you're lucky if you make it past the first round. Winning would be an absolute fluke. But as everybody has also told me, anything can happen in a match. Anything can happen in a fight.
How's your body feeling?
I can say that I've been training about 3 to 4 times a week, which when you go from no times a week to 4 times a week, it's a big impact on your body, and you do feel it, and I can feel it. I'm very sore, I'm very tight. My cardio was never very great, and I wasn't participating in a lot of sports, but I definitely was not out of shape. But I will say that my body has definitely been giving me some feedback now, saying you got to ease up a bit, but when there's only a month left to train, I really can't do that. I can't really afford to do that. And if she's able to do it, I'm going to be able to do it, and I will do it, because I think if she can push herself, then so can I.
Only one crowd, man. Come on. Let's go.
Sorry, I didn't fill you in on the phone. I've been rushing. I received an email from Chris this morning after the sparring that we were doing, and it was a forward to an email that he received from one of his MMA students, or one of the students who was there at the sparring, who is highly against our film. Not necessarily against our film, but hates the idea of the fight. And we've been getting a lot of negative feedback about it, that we could be causing a bad thing for the sport of MMA, which I by all means do not want to do. He sent me an email from one of them this morning that literally said, if this fight does not get shut down, I'm going to make a complaint to the Queen's Ethics Review Board and try to get the film shut down. When I spoke to Daryl this morning and tried to tell him that I wanted to cancel the appointment, he said that he said he still loved the idea, which was very interesting, and he wants us to come down and talk to him. That's why I said bring the camera.
For some people that maybe are more established and have a lot riding on this, they just don't want anyone rocking the boat. People have a comfort zone, and once you push outside that, they react.
That's
you know
right.
What I mean? And it means you're doing something right.
It took time, right? Like, it took time. Like, look at Ontario. We just got sanctioned in 2011 for professional MMA. Because before, like, you really want to get, like, real down in the States, there were bare knuckle butt heads in bars and parking lots and fucking underground garages and shit, like, hitting each other. It was a gimmick, right?
That's right.
Hence the gimmick, right? So it's like, not another UFC thing. Because we've come so far, it'd be a shame to digress and go back to that sort of, like, primal stupidity.
I think it's blowing things way out of proportion to say it's some sort of illegal, unsanctioned cage fight going on that's going to destroy the mixed martial arts community in Ontario. Nobody's going to care.
It's like anything you're told, it's all about how you interpret it. Me personally, the way it came across is it was a gender battle. Whether it is or not, that's completely outside of me. That's just the first initial thing, and also people I discuss with further. That's the blaring thing, right? You overshadow the fact that it's a martial arts comparison and completely bring in the gender factor. And if you want to get hot buttons, that's a good one.
If she's okay with it and you're okay with it, then I think that's just a choice, a matter of choice, and I don't think ethically there's anything wrong with that.
I mean, I'm not trying to deem a winner of a gender at all. I don't think it's anything like that anymore. That I never really intended it that way, that I wanted to,
But if you don't intend it that way, then you can always salvage the idea by just competing against someone who's less controversial.
Against a man.
Right.
99% of physical attacks are males against females. So what you're proposing is if you call the police station, that's what they're getting phone calls about.
It's under scrutiny. Other people are going to look at it. That's the thing, right? That's the major deciding factor. Other people's interpretation of the events that happen in here.
I wanted to have this big showdown. I wanted to, you know, hype it up and have people attend and have this big finale. And I think that was the wrong thing to do.
The one way in which it really could help female martial artists, though, is the exposure.
I can't condone it, period. Done, comma, nothing.
But I feel like if done properly, this could be the best testimonial ever for my art, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, to be really honest.
I think that kind of exposure is actually pretty valuable. And you're going to get people thinking, whether or not they want to join the club she's in, that, hey, maybe there's something to this. Maybe it's worth knowing because I walk late at night to get home from work. Or I just want to be more confident, or it's a good way to get in shape.
Oh.
Okay. Shoulder? Yeah.
I feel like it's all in your head.
No, I don't. I know it's not in my head. I can feel it because I can't lift anything and I can't turn it. And I mean, it hurts to cross, and I can't throw a right punch anymore, which sucks. It's no, it's. I mean, it's definitely real. I don't know what they're gonna say.
Justin.
That's me.
Is it okay to come in?
I suppose so.
Okay. How's it going? Good. Yeah. Is that the arm?
Yeah.
Okay.
This shoulder right here.
And how long ago was it?
This was 5 days ago. So I was sparring. So I was doing some very heavy sparring, like boxing and MMA.
Yeah.
And
is that what the fight is going to be, MMA?
Yes. And we introduced we introduced takedowns into it, which I didn't have much experience with.
Right.
We were training in a boxing ring, which is very stiff.
Okay.
And the guy who was training with me and sparring with me did a hip throw.
Okay.
And to kind of flip me, and I just landed all on my shoulder.
I'm going to grab a shoulder model, so I'll be right back.
You have completely fucked up your shoulder, and you will never fight again.
There's a minor tear through this ligament here. Okay. So ligaments attach bone to bone.
Okay.
Grade 2 would be a more significant tear, around 50%, and then a grade 3 would be this guy.
Okay, so
You're at about a grade 1, maybe on the verge of grade 2. I'm looking at treatment for about 2 to 3 weeks. Return to the fight probably is going to be more realistically about 6 weeks.
That's not too bad. Do you think what I was doing was crazy?
I think it was crazy, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I mean,
Crazy for her or crazy for me?
crazy for you.
Oh, okay. Do you watch a lot of UFC and MMA or not?
Yes, I'm a big UFC fan.
Oh, yeah? Okay, that's good.
I think there should be more women in it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because, like, there's the Women's Fighting League, but I feel as though there should be women in UFC.
Why do we give why does the media give bad coverage to women and female athletes?
Just because of the way it's always been. Women aren't supposed to do sports.
So we haven't really changed much, have we?
No.
No.
We have not evolved whatsoever.
We've got a long way to come.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think that films like this are going to help that?
It would be great if it would.
Yeah. It was obvious that my injury was severe enough that I wasn't going to be stepping into a ring with Gabby anytime soon. Add to that the controversy this fight stirred up in the MMA community. This fight wasn't going to happen. I wanted to push the boundaries between male and female athletics to showcase the capability of female athletes, but I became so obsessed with having a climactic fight that I completely ignored the female athletes right in front of me. If I really wanted to help female athletes, I could at least start by listening to them, and went back to all the gyms I had previously visited. This film is about you guys, so that's who I gotta get interviewed. It's not about me. So, what was it that drew you to the sport?
Actually, I was just living in a new city and I didn't have any friends, and I wanted something that was intrinsically motivating to do. So social and fun, but active.
I just love being that physical with someone. I love being able to be able to hit something.
What do you think holds women back from taking that step?
Women in general, they just have like different perceptions of their body image. So I think that to overcome that takes a certain amount of confidence.
The other girls I know that do a lot of working out are working out to better themselves, and I can do really neat things. The class that was in here just before us was a drop it fast class. And it was just to lose weight, just to drop the pounds, make yourself look good, make yourself look like one of the sign holders in the UFC.
Why do we give such small coverage to women's martial arts, to women's athletes in general? Because women's boxing is the same thing.
Women's hockey.
Women's hockey.
Soccer, women's anything.
Like not just martial arts, but sports in general. The main people out there are male figureheads. I think if we got a little more representation, I think people would be surprised how brutal we can be.
You know, I know a lot of gyms that won't attract women because there are no women. If girls know that there are people like themselves who train these sports, it makes them more likely to start training as well.
For you, what do you get out of it?
So much. So much.
Okay.
You can't even begin to say.
It's a big self-esteem boost. Knowing that I can be powerful too is a great feeling. Now I walk with like confidence in the halls.
It's a lot of fun. It's friendly. You make a bunch of friends, make a bunch of kind of like brothers.
It's very life-changing. It did a lot for my self-esteem and confidence, and having a little bit of self-defense as well.
I've never been a big one for audiences. Terrified of public speaking. Usually once I'm in the ring and fighting someone, the world kind of narrows down.
Here's this woman who's been training for 3 years, who's willing to get into a cage, full contact with a man, which according to our culture isn't supposed to happen. She's not supposed to be able to step into a cage with a man, because that's a man's realm. I don't know how to describe that. It's something really spectacular in a small way.
Right in my kitchen, sweat runs down the wall. Thinking about what could have been, laughing at it all. I'm so tired I can't get up, I can't go to work. The girl put such a hurt on me, I feel like such a jerk. Because last night a girl kicked my ass. Last night a girl kicked my ass. Last night a girl kicked my ass. A girl kicked my ass. Think it's funny, this exercise is money, all wrapped up in fantasy. It's shoved right in your face. I get hot and steamy, and everything goes dreamy. Time to hit the shower and lather up the place. Because last night, girl kicked my ass. Last night, this girl kicked my ass. Last night, this girl kicked my ass. Last night, this girl kicked my ass. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention for the main match on the card tonight? In this corner, we have a scrawny little bugger named Justin, who's going to step up to the plate and try and fight this strong, tall female, a girl. And tonight we have the fight. Good luck. You'll need it. Looking in my kitchen, the sweat runs down the wall. Thinking about what could have been, laughing at it all. I'm so tired I can't get up, I can't go to work. Go rip my cable out, yes I will, and watch my TV jerk. ass. Last night a girl kicked my ass. Last night this girl kicked my ass. Last night this girl kicked my last night a girl kicked my ass. Girl kicked my ass. Last night a girl kicked my ass. A girl kicked my last night.